Hello everyone. Today let's see how to prepare a circuit board for ADC0804. So we are going to prepare a ADC084 driver circuit for converting the analog to digital on a simple general purpose PCB board, and later we can use it for connecting with the microcontroller. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to download the data sheet from the website. So I have already downloaded a data sheet, ADC0804 data sheet. I have downloaded it here. So here is the data sheet, which is already downloaded. So once you download this data sheet, just open the data sheet and look at the features of the ADC0804. So since it is written, this is from Texas Instruments, ADC0804. It is an 8-bit analog to digital converter and it is microprocessor compatible. So you can use it with any of the general purpose microcontrollers. So if you look at the features, you will understand most of the highlights about this chip and what is the range of the analog input voltage we can give. It's written as 0 to 5 volt and a single supply. We do not have to have a negative supply here, and even the resolution is 8 bit it is, and you can see it operates with any 8-bit microprocessor or a standalone device. You can also use it as a standalone device. You need to see the configuration circuit to configure it as a standalone. That means you can drive the analog and convert it to digital without any microcontroller or a processor. That is also possible. So let's look at the details about this. So first thing that you need to see is a pin diagram of this. So this is a pin diagram of the chip, which is an 8-bit IC. So as you can see here, the right side will have the data lines, which is output that we need it, and input, you see most of the control lines are there. So CS is a chip selection, and read bar is actually used for reading the analog digital value. Write bar is here actually required for conversion. Clock in, INTR, V in plus, V in minus, analog ground, and V reference by 2 is a reference pin, D ground. Okay, and here you can see the data output. So basically it converts analog input to the digital output. Okay, so you can see the more details about these pins here. As I mentioned here, CS is a read chip select, RD is a read pin, and these are all input, and write is also an input pin. Clock in is an input pin. INTR is an output pin which will provide the output to the controller. V in plus, V in minus are the input. We have to give the input to analog voltage. Analog ground is a reference for this V in. Digital ground is for the digital output. Most of the time we connect A ground and D ground as a common. Okay, and we have seen one more pin, which is DB0 to DB7, which are the output pins, which is a data bit. And you can see here clock R, which is an input here. So see, either you can give the input from the external clock, or also you can give a RC timing. So I am going to use RC timing here, and VCC or V reference. So these are the pin descriptions. So always you remember, whenever you find any new IC like ADC or maybe I2C compatible or any other device, first download the data sheet and gather the information and see how the application circuit. So typically in the application circuit, in the index page, you can see most of the things like pin configuration. We have seen specifications are there. You can see application and implementation. So this you can see. Also you can see functional block diagram. You can understand how it works. And let's go for the functional description. Here functional diagram is there, and later I will go to the application circuit. So if you go to the pin number, okay, this is a functional diagram. So now what I prefer is straight away go to the, okay, this is actually the block and timing diagram for the conversion. So probably I can explain this later also when I am actually doing the programming for this ADC. But you can just go through this. A start of conversion, which is actually CS bar supposed to go low, then the right bar supposed to go low, then the conversion begins. And once the conversion begins, here you can see the busy state goes high. Okay, this is actually the INTR pin status. Okay, So the INTR will go, that is actually conversion time here, so it's going to be busy, and INTR will go low when the conversion completes. Once the conversion completes, then you can read it by making the CS bar low and read bar. So probably this we can look later when we do the programming. Okay, so let's go to the application circuit straight away. So we have an application circuit here, so and we are going to refer it accordingly. So application circuit, this is a typical application circuit. You can find the application circuit for the standalone. This is with the microcontroller. So you can see here, this is the one of the microprocessor which is used. It can be anything. Now this is actually my ADC 0801 or 04 also compatible. Okay, so I'm going to note down the pin diagrams of the connection. You see how this is connected. So let's quickly note down the connection. So here see, the clock is actually given as a RC oscillator. 10K and 150K picofarad is preferred. So accordingly we will also choose the same component for our clock R, and we will connect it to clock in. Okay, so this will give, so ADC always needs a clock. Okay, so ADC needs a clock, so this is an important thing. And analog and digital grounds are made common, and this is the analog input lines which is connected here. So in this V in plus we will connect straight away, and V in minus we will ground it to the analog ground. Okay, so let's make a quick note of it actually, so that we can also do it. So yeah, the same circuit that I have, whatever I have shown you, I have actually drawn it here. As you can see here, pin number 1 is read bar and write bar, and pin number 3 is write bar, and pin number 5 is INTR bar. So that these are my control pins that I am going to take out on the left side of the chip. And then I have here clock and clock in. So clock is actually the RC clock I am using, so that I connected 10K and 150 picofarad as given in the data sheet, and other end is connected to the clock in to the 4. This is a clock in taken between RC. This is an RC clock. There is a formula in the data sheet, you can refer to it, but typically this is more enough for you to connect. Otherwise you may have to connect a 5/5 timer, or somehow you need to give a clock. So this is the best way of connecting the clock to the ADC. So then another is pin number 8 and 10, which is shown here as 8 and 10 are shorted together and given to a ground. I am having the same. And the other end you see here, the pin number 11 till 20 is DB0 to DB7 here, and there is one pin VCC which is same as even VREF. VREF and VCC are same. One more thing we left out is the V in plus and V in minus, V in and V in minus. So V in I am going to ground it. So this I am going to ground it, and V in is the data which has the analog input that I am giving. So if you see the data sheet, so V in plus is actually pin number 6. This is pin number 6. V in plus is pin number 6, and V in minus is pin number 7. So I am going to ground it. Okay, so this is how the connections are to be made. So I have noted down for the reference. So what and all we need now after the connections, these are the things that we supposed to gather first. So finalize the circuit diagram. This is my ADC 0804. Okay, this is my ADC 0804 circuit diagram that I am going to connect. So okay, so now for that I need a general purpose PCB. So here I have a general purpose PCB. I am going to develop this on this. So for that we need to gather few components. So components like, we need a board here. This is a general purpose copper board. So you can see this is a Vero board. So the dotted copper board. So now another that you need an IC base. So it is better to have an IC base for the circuit, because The chances are there, if you lose the chip you need to replace it, and definitely we need an ADC. So I have an ADC here. This is an ADC. This is a 20 pin IC here that I have here. This is an ADC, 20 pin ADC, and I have this 10k and 150 picofarad so for the clock, and I have a bulb connector here. So these bulb connectors are required for me to connect the signals out for this, also to give some control signal. So this is, you need to plan it how you are going to connect it. And also I have this okay, yeah, also you need a knife cutter here. So I have a knife cutter here, so this is required, and also we need some wires. So I have gathered all these things. So you also, when you solder these things, so you need all these minimum materials to provide and to get this board done. So first thing is, you need to scratch the copper side of this particular board neatly, so that the scratching is important. You need to scratch this so that there should not be any dust in this copper flat board. Okay, so remove that. Whichever the area that you are soldering, please scratch it well with the sandpaper, or maybe with the kind of this nice knife cutter you can use to scratch well, but don't scratch it so hard that even the copper will come out. Okay, scratch it such that, so this dust supposed to go, so that you can insert the soldering lead easily, so that it makes the connection. Otherwise there should not be any problem with the dry soldering. Similarly, the ends of the wire, okay, whatever you take, these also to be scratched. So once you scratch it, now you can insert this particular base onto this. So this is where you need to place it. So identify that and place it well. Yes, yeah, so this was inserted well, and now you see here the other side. Now let me put the soldering onto this. Okay, so you also need a lead here, so arrange for a lead, and turn on your soldering gun. So if you are using a normal soldering gun, that's also fine. So if you are a professional soldering machine, you can adjust the temperature to 700 here, so you can solder it now. So make sure that your soldering tip is neat. Okay, so there should not be any dust in it. So okay, so take this soldering lead, and now this is hot. So now you can start soldering the IC base onto this. So you do not have to put the flux onto this, because this lead itself has a little bit of flux inside it. So as long as this soldering lead is concerned, you don't need to add any flux. Okay, so now what you do is, you do not have to close it to the lead and just solder it. Don't place it for a long time until it covers the entire path. Okay, until the entire copper slot is covered. So slowly insert the lead into it. Don't fill too much of lead into it. So if it touches to the other copper slot, it is very difficult to remove it. You may lose a particular track also sometimes. So better to be carefully solder it one by one. It won't take much of your time. Within some 20-30 seconds you can actually solder this neatly. So it is very important to scratch the board before you solder. Okay, so that there should not be any dust. If there is a dust, the soldering will not be properly done, so better to scratch it very well. So this is how it was soldered nicely, you see here. So it was soldered properly now. There is no short between the two points at all. Okay, so once you do this, next process is to insert the other component. As you see the circuit diagram here, I have DB7 to DB0 on the other side. So if you count the pin numbers here, so this is going to the pin number 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 10th pin. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 19 is actually the clock. Okay. So 19th is clock, 20th is VCC. So from 11th on a DB7. So what I will do is I will take a Berg. This is a Berg connector I'll take. I will just cut it for the 8 lines here. So 8 lines will be till here. Just take it and break this Berg. So this is going to be the 8 line Berg, so that you can easily place it on the pin number 11 onwards, so that keep one track length. Okay, keep a one track length here, so that it won't be difficult for you to insert the cable, okay, later. So better to keep one track length, so that now I can do the soldering for this. So again, you do not have to scratch this, because there is no dust in it. Now let me solder this area. Okay, so look at this, how I am going to solder it. So first to solder the Berg connector side. Berg connector side, you here solder it. Solder it like this. So this will not take much time to solder. As you can see, it will fill very nicely and neatly here. So once this is done, you need to simply short this. So shorting this, you can fill this area. You can fill this area and put a small amount of lead here, excess amount of the lead, so that you can short these things. So this is something. Okay, you can short it in this way. You can short each of these copper lines with the adjacent one. Like this, you can short. Okay, put some more soldering and just short these. Okay, once you do this, next if you want to put it to the next test only, you can also do that, provided there is no difficulty in connecting this. So let me short the other side also by putting a little more amount of the soldering here. See, you can short it now. So put it on the other side and keep shorting the length. So it will now be connected here. And I have to insert some extra lead. As you can see here clearly that I have soldered the Berg connector to the data line. So and I can see here, so this is how it looks. Okay, one side this is done. So now let's connect the other terminals. So now insert these resistor here, also the capacitor, and you can use the same the lead to connect it till the pin number 19 here. So pin number 19 will be here. So I can just bend the same wire here and I can connect it. So use a wire cutter. So this is again an important thing which I forgot to tell you. You need to have a wire cutter with you, or this is a wire cutter. This is going to be a wire cutter, and this is a wire stripper. Okay, so to strip the wires, the insulation, so you will use a wire stripper, and to cut the wires or maybe the leads of this, so we will use a wire cutter. So we will connect it, we'll cut it here. So use this wire cutter. So I'm going to solder this end now. So just connect it here. Okay, pin number 19 is actually this connection. So pin number 19 is connected now. Okay, next pin number, these two capacitor and resistor end has to be shorted, and other end we need to give it for the ground. Okay, so I can cut this, the extra connectors, cut this out. Okay, so this is how it made. So I connected the clock terminal, one end is connected to the pin number 19 here, and other end of the RC, as in the diagram here you can see here, this R is connected to 19, and the capacitor other end is grounded. So I have not decided where my ground line will come. Anyway, so let's do the other connection. So I have one more things left, that is actually we have these things, that is CS bar, read byte, write bar, and INTR, these things. So I need a 4 Berg extra for this connection to be made. So let's take up this and connect it here. So this is pin number 1, 2, 3 and 5. Okay, take some space here and connect it pin number 1 onwards. So pin number 1 onwards I am going to connect this. Okay, so this way you can. Okay, so what I am going to do here is I am going to connect pin number 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and 5 to this, the last one, and the fourth one I will take it from this middle end of this. Okay, which is as per in the circuit diagram it is shown like that. The fourth one is actually clock in. So let's make the connection for that. So before that, let me solder these things first. So again use the same soldering leads and connect it. This is actually pin number 1, pin number 2. Be careful, should not connect with the other end, other sides, and pin number 3. Okay, and pin number 5. So I will take out the connection from pin number 5. Pin number 4 I will leave it blank right now. So let me bring it till pin number 5 here. Okay, so this is how we make the connection. Okay, pin number 5 is connected. Okay, so this is a way. So as you can see here, this is connected now properly. So pin number 1 is connected to 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, and the fourth one is left blank because I need to connect the clock in here, and the fifth one is connected to the jumper. Okay, in this way. So I'm not using any extra wire, I'm managing it with the same blade. This is bit difficult, but if you practice it will be easier for you. Otherwise you need to connect using the wires. Okay, so let me connect now the clock in. For that we need to check a jumper kind of a thing. What you do is take a wire stripper and connect a small wire. So let me take only this much small. So other end you just, so whenever you take a wire kind of a jumper for taking out the connection, so you strip out the the ends of these wires and take this sharp knife and please scratch these leads, okay, very well, so that there should not be any dust in it. So the insulation supposed to be removed, so that when you are connecting it to the PCB, it will quickly connect to the soldering lead. So carefully scratch all sides of this copper. So this is a multi-strand cable that I am using. There are multiple strings in it, copper strings in it. So what you need to do is, after the scratching this insulation from this, now it's a pure copper, if it will be easily connect to the soldering. So remove the excess wire here itself, so that you know how much to keep here. So remove the excess wire and now connect wherever you want to take it. So I want to take it from pin number 4. I'm connecting it here. I have a provision for pin number 4. So twist the wire, insert the wire in this particular slot. Other end should be the pin number, the junction of this, which I am going to connect here. So this is the junction. So it looks something like this. Doesn't matter as long as the circuit works very well. So solder this end carefully. So that okay, one end is connected. Let me connect it to the other end. That's here. That is the junction of this R and C. Okay. Yes. So it's connected well. So okay, so now what you need, actually you need to connect the inputs. So that is as per in the circuit diagram. Here you can see V in plus and V in minus, it is 6 and 7. So we have connected the clock. So 6 and 7 is here, so we can connect it to 6 and 7 2 bulbs. So later I'll mark it as V in and V plus, and then the 8th one is analog ground, and 9th is actually Vref by 2, which is a reference. I do not have to connect. 10th is also digital. So those things we can short it together and we can give it to the ground. So let's do that. So now I'm going to connect it here. So this is actually the, so connect it to 6 and 7 here, 6 and 7, and you can quickly solder it out. So I connected very close to the chip. You can solder it easily now. So you have to be careful now, because chances are there it may now connect to the adjacent side. If it connects, be careful and be patient when you are actually removing the soldering. So it might damage the board as well if you do some mistake. So, and it's going to be difficult to remove the solder once it is connected. So now what you need, actually the ground we need to connect it. So take a stripper, and so conventionally we will use a black wire for the ground, so that is easier for us to decode as well. So we will use this black wire for connecting the ground. So I am going to connect this black wire for the ground in this circuit. So as usual, after taking out the stripped wire, so please scratch this leads of the wire. This is an important thing that you need to do, otherwise your soldering will be very difficult unless you remove this insulation from this. Also some of the wires are very old and they will have some, the corrosion in it, so you need to remove those corrosion also. So unless it gives a shining, till then you scratch this very well. And I need one more wire for connecting the bare ground. So take up one more wire So I have scratched these two wires, and one I am going to connect it to the ground here. From this ground to the other side of the main circuit. So I have connected these extra lines for connecting the ground, and 1/4 from the connecting this ground of this particular, as you can see here, this ground, the analog ground, and this capacitor other end ground to the common ground. So here is going to be my VCC and ground. So let's solder these things. So this is how it is connected now. So I have identified the VCC also now. So let's take a red wire for the VCC to power it to the IC. So let me strip out this cable. Okay, as usual, take a stripper, take this knife and just clean the sides. Okay, both the sides. Okay, the soldering is complete now. So we have connected all the required connection as to be made in this particular circuit diagram. So now you can actually use a marker and mark the VCC, ground and all the signals. So that will be easy for you to note the signals. So this is going to be my 5-volt side. So this is plus 5 volt, and this is my going to be ground. So mark it as G. There are 2 ground pins so that you can connect it. So one is 5 volt, and this is my pin number 11 is DB7 here. So mark it as D7, and this is going to be D0 and D1, so on. Okay, and here I have V in plus, that is 6 is V in, and this is going to be my ground. Okay, and here you need to mark the signals as CS bar, and then comes read bar, and then comes write bar, and then comes INTR. Okay, so this is for your reference so that you can connect it easily. Okay, so we have identified I have labeled the pins accordingly with the marker, so that now you can easily connect it with the microcontroller. So I will insert this chip ADC0804 on this. So it is better to use ADC0804 because of its simplicity, and it has only one analog channel, so that in most of the interfacing experiments we will have only one analog channel, so we can use it very easily, this particular device. Okay, so now this is connected. Yes, so this is how it is connected. Okay, so now I can interface it with any of this controller like 8051. So my next video is going to be on connecting this with the controller and displaying the ADC value. So that's it for the way in which you can develop this circuit board. So you need to gather some of the basic components and you need to build the circuits. So thank you for watching this.